G'day. Today I want to talk about our imAlive block. But before we get started, press subscribe if you always think you're the smartest person in the room. Let's grab our block. Let's talk about what it does. So the imAlive block is used to tell if a remote device is communicating or not. You're able to give it a time to dead. It tells you how much time is remaining until it goes dead. You're able to force it dead or force it alive, depending on how you're programming it. And you're able to configure its value when it's dead. It can be true or false or null, and its value when alive, so that you can configure this to work however you like. Integration to VRF systems like Daikin or Mitsubishi or Hitachi, if you're doing that through your EasyIO controller. This is for that. Their devices through their gateways, the status for those devices aren't dependent on the gateway being up. So the device can stop communicating and you won't know. It's just all the values will stay the same for an extended period. And that's exactly how this block works. A manufacturer of power meters, if you go through their gateway, it's the same thing. You can't tell if the device is online or offline based on what you read from the gateway. So this works around that. It will also work, we use it on the peer-to-peer inside EasyIO on its client service. Rather than relying on this online point, we may like to configure a longer delay so that we know, if it's bouncing on and offline, I don't want it to affect my control. I want to be in more control of it. Inside this peer-to-peer block, there's no configuration for this status output. So we can configure this to be 5 minutes or 2 hours or 2 seconds, whatever we need it to be. We have the power of the configuration that you don't get in a lot of the other blocks. So you can use a Boolean value for the in-B or a float value for the in-F. So if you've got a status, or if you have a point like a unit that turns on and off each day, you can put that into your in-B and set your timer up to be 12 hours or 24 hours. Rather than not knowing ever whether the thing's communicating or not, at least you'll know within 24 hours whether it's had a change of state or is working properly. So again, very useful for those sorts of things. The float is obviously the one we would use more often. Grab our numeric priority, drop him on our page for now, put him in here. He's true by default, and when it's dead, it's true. So I want to reduce this time to a quarter, so 15 seconds. So when we change this to anything, 1, we can see our timer started counting down from 15 seconds. And if we change it again to 1.01, it resets the clock to 15 seconds. And the status has gone to false, which is the value when alive. Again, we change this quickly, set to, resets the timer, and if we let it time out this time, our status will go false, indicating that it's no longer communicating. In this case, we'd probably want to rename it to no comms. So no comms, status is true, indicating that there's no comms. If we had that inverted, talked it the other way around, made that false and that one true, so our status when dead is false, we would now say comms OK. and comms OK is false, so they're not OK. So the naming of the block really helps the mental fatigue in determining what it's supposed to be. Obviously it's got a remaining time. The same, you can have a numeric value or a Boolean value. So if we change our Boolean value to true, the timer starts timing. So as soon as it re-establishes communications, it will start timing out again. Change it to false. Every time there's a change of state, the block will reset its counter, allowing it to give you an accurate idea on whether your devices are communicating to your controller or not. You can obviously log this back to your history database or whatever. So it also has an actions menu. You can force it state, you can force it dead or force it alive. I might want to force it alive because it's been troublesome. So we go, we'll just force it alive until we can resolve the problem. We can return it to automatic control, which resets the timer. And then you can force it dead. So, quite a powerful block. Obviously, you can set the dead time as well. So this will allow you to be able to configure all of this from the dashboard or from a graphic. It'll also allow you to pull these points into a supervisor and put them on a graphic page at a head end, providing versatility for your communications network. Press the like button if you enjoyed it. Thank you.